When you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit, because the man card means everything.
Okay, so this man definitely, when I say man, I do mean M-A-N, man, definitely said a lot. He said a lot as it relates to the industry and what the industry sometimes stand on. And then he got a little mixy and said that it seemed as if Diddy wanted to be with him. Now, let's dissect. Let's take this thing apart. Now, we have Terrence Howard sitting in a podcast saying, look, your manhood is what you have. And I think ultimately his message behind everything was your integrity, your morals, the moral compass that you stand on is all that you have. And you have to uphold that. You have to stand for something or fall for everything. Because when you do give a little bit of yourself to get something in return, you lose that part of yourself that you gave away, right? So if you're giving away sexual intercourse, whether you be a man or a woman, to gain a role or something like that, there is going to be in the back of your mind that doubt, like, did I really get that role authentically because I deserved it? Or was it because I gave my body away, right? Especially for a man, right, who hasn't experienced that kind of encounter. Now let's get to the messy part, because the messy part is what got me, and I know it's what got y'all too. So don't call me messy, because I know that's what got y'all too. He says Diddy is inviting him over and over and over and over and over again to do this, but what he doing is staring at me, what did you staring at me for? So I guess that mixed in with a couple of things that, as an actor, you would hear illuminating in the industry. The assistant put two and two together and it's like, Diddy's trying to be with you. Diddy's trying to get a piece of you. And of course, that's how a man who is heterosexual will respond when you do try to, test them, or you do try to like flirt, or you do try to like, play games that they're not into. They're gonna react with aggression. They're going to react with, don't bring that bullshit to me. And we can't wrong them for that, right? You can't wrong a man for standing his integrity, for standing and saying, look, I'm not judging you for what you're a part of. I just don't want to be a part of it. So don't come bulldozing my door down trying to entice me into something that I don't want to be a part of. And I feel like if aggression is what's needed to get your point across in that situation, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, he's not into that. He's not into that. And I do think that Terrence Howard, even though he's not somebody that's receiving all these different accolades, has been a powerhouse in the acting industry. And without having to do all the extracurricular things that people have to do, he may not be winning Oscars left, right, and center. But like he says, when you do sell your body, or you do give a little bit of yourself away, it's like you're selling your soul, even if you don't um literally sell your soul. It's a figurative way of selling your soul, like giving your soul away for something, for a small gain that in the end won't be worth it. Because in life, and something that I'm realizing as I'm going to church and I'm getting into God more, nothing is worth your integrity, nothing is worth your morals, nothing is worth that. Because when the lights turn off and everything goes, all you have is you and the decisions that you make. And if the decisions that you make, you can't go to sleep at night with them, then it wasn't really worth it, right? So I do like the fact that Terrence Howard, he stood his ground when approached with certain things that he wasn't, wanting to be a part of. And I like the fact that he's speaking on it, and he's not speaking on it in a way as to put down Diddy or to put down anyone in that community. It's just saying, look, I'm not a part of that. So don't try to entice me into that. And I respect it. How do you guys feel about it?